another band. All the Mars and cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a bag by the end. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
What's going on, people? Welcome into the crossover. I'm joined today live and direct from Qatar. I'm very happy about this because I never thought I would say this. Ra is at a Misfits event. Ra, how are you?
Cowabunga. Isn't that what the youth? Is that the youth of today say? No, I think that's what they said 20 years ago when I was a grown up. Like I was just saying to you off camera. Yeah, this is just so much fun, and makes me feel like I'm 15 again being here. So yeah, I'm glad you convinced me to come out. Look at this. It's a beautiful sunny day in mid-November. Well, it's nearly December. Yeah. Look at this arena. It's done up like a Roman amphitheater. Yeah. This is the dog's bollocks Abbas. So yeah, what an event.
Have you ever seen a weigh-in look, I guess, so grand before?
Yeah, listen, some of the Riyadh season cards, they do really, go to town with the production value, but it's no fun there. This just screams fun all around, I've even seen a couple of pros, actual pros, who normally are real miserable so-and-so, as pros usually are, and they're happy. So, but yeah, this is a hell of a venue. You've got the azure waters of the Persian Gulf just behind us there. Like I said, it's done up like a Roman amphitheater. It's a beautiful setting. So yeah, really can't wait.
Any fighters that you bumped heads with so far? Like, I know you've been doing your research, so any fighters that you've, given a little hello to or anything?
Well, while I was sitting down for a coffee, I did see Salt Pappy and his couple of his entourage walk past. A lot of the locals here look like Slim and Anderson, but I don't want to just go up to a random guy and say, yeah, are you Slim or Anderson? A lot of them also look like DJ Khaled, but hey, yeah, listen, these small countries, there's often a similar look amongst the entire population, but yeah, we're expecting a whole load of celebrities to be turning up from what I hear, so yeah, I'll be keeping my eyes out.
I was going to say, you said you'll get fighters, you'll get the who's who of this influencer world that will definitely be popping up to this event if they've not already been here. So I will say this, in the next 24 hours, do more research, because you're going to see a lot of good faces out there that you'll be like, oh, that person's got 1.2 million on Instagram. Let me go get some content with them, because I promise you, any interviews you get, they're going to get some numbers as well. But I want to test your knowledge.
Okay.
You've seen the fight card. You've seen the fight card. Technically, what do you think is going to be the best fight that you've been told about?
Technically, I think the headliner.
Okay.
Gib and Alva look like they've been taking it pretty seriously since they started. I guess they train almost like full-time pros, don't they?
So this is the 8 3-minute rounds. This is the first time it's ever been done, and I think Harlem Eubank just did 8 3-minute rounds. So that kind of puts into perspective what is going to happen out there, considering I know a lot of people when it kicked off said it was a bit of a joke, but two guys who, like you said, have been doing it. Gib's taken a few breaks in between, but Slim fully dedicated for as long as he can be, and now we're doing 8 3-minute rounds. So that's kind of a show to where this has turned out to be from where it originally was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as me and Rico were saying to William, when we did this show with him, was it a week ago? These influencer guys are at an advantage over most pros. They can do this full time. A lot of the guys like at area level, even English level, I know they are earning pennies or losing money. They have to go to work. Often they're doing really hard physical labor by day, then having to do their training in the evening. These guys are full-time pros. That's got to, that's not to be underestimated. How quickly that a lot of these guys can come on. And it's worth remembering, a lot of them are still young. They're not starting as old men. So I'm not as snobbish about this as I used to be. and I think that headline is going to be a hell of a fight.
I'm gonna give a little breakdown of how we got here. Funny enough, because KSI for the first time I can remember is supporting Slim in a fight, and I don't know if you followed it, but they were meant to fight in Ireland, and there's been a lot of back and forth. But the fact that he's now fighting Gib, I don't think I've ever seen a promoter, president, CEO, whatever you want to say for KSI, openly come out and say, "I'm supporting one guy." In terms of chaos of that, are you surprised? Or is it just what you kind of expect? These guys are kind of raw, and they will say and do what they want to.
Hey, listen, I'm under no illusion. You know, these guys are from the celebrity world, and you know how bitchy the celebrity world is. Yeah. So I tell you, what I found amusing about what KSI said at the press conference was he wanted to make it clear he's not friends with Slim. Yeah. He said, "We ain't friends. Don't get it twisted." So, you know, I thought that was typical celebrity diva stuff. Host, great to see you. We'll catch up shortly. No problem. Just speak to Host, you know, like myself. Started on the small hall scene, and now he's here at the big time.
Big time.
I tell you what, that's the great thing about this Misfits stuff. You know, people who are nobodies can beat somebody, and ain't that great?
I'm going to give you the best technical two fights, I think. And I want you to watch these. One is Little Cray Cray versus Judy Gang. That's for the lightweight title, the interim lightweight title, the final of the tournament. They fought twice before. In typical Misfits fashion, the first fight was stopped because of a bomb threat. So
you are kidding me.
Oh, no, I promise you.
Are you telling me mid-fight, the arena was abandoned?
Yeah, mid-fight for about 45 minutes, they just pulled everybody out, and apparently it was Aiden Ross. Do you know Aiden Ross?
I don't know.
You need to Google Aiden Ross. He was doing his own boxing event to go head-to-head with Misfits, and apparently he sent out a fake thing to say, "There's a bomb out there." So they had to cancel the first fight. Because of that reason. That's the chaos that you're going to be involved in. The second fight, UD won, but both guys are super technical in the sense of when you watch it, you'll appreciate the fact that it's not just two guys just throwing bombs or anything like that or chaotic. They are actually going to try and box. So someone like yourself, I actually appreciate that. There are actually people that appreciate it, but also like, this is Misfits. We just want to see a bit of chaos as well. And the other one is going to be Stop Happy versus King Kenny. Because both guys are kind of, the career trajectory is kind of the same. Started up, won a few fights, lost a few fights. And it's kind of like we're meeting and the winner will face Slim and Gib. The loser goes down the pecking order, and it's super technical. I will say that both them two fights are going to be the technical ones. The fan-friendly one, funny enough, is actually on like the prelims, and that's Pineda versus Swarms. Do you know anything about them?
Yeah, of course. My friend Abdul's good mates with Pineda. He trains when he's in the UK. Trains at his gym. So yeah, obviously he was a pro back in Mexico initially, wasn't he? So. So okay, that'd be interesting.
You know what he was as well? He was KSI's first ever pro.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, I will be looking out for that one as well. But like you said, they're all great fun, whatever the level is. I'll tell you the fight I'm really looking forward to though. Yeah, the heavyweight fight.
You're about Chase or you're about HS?
Chase versus
Kells.
I forget the guy's name. But yeah, you see two big guys both doing a whole load of talking, squaring off. Apparently were they both Romeos on that reality show? Was it Too Hot to Handle?
Oh, whatever. I don't know what it is. I didn't watch them back then, but did you see them in the press conference?
Yeah, exactly that. And I know Chase, he's been saying, you know, after this, he's going to go for some actual pro heavyweights. So I think, okay, this is intriguing. Let's see what this guy can do. I think he was was he a college football star or some sort, or an NFL star?
But he's actually fought on traditional pro cards as well. So he's doing the rounds in terms of traditional pro fighting. He's actually fought on them as well. But the one thing that's disappointing for me, I'm guessing you know Deji, right?
Of course,
KSI's brother.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed with him. Like, the fight he's got is basically like a gimme fight. He's had a few. He was meant to fight apparently Joey Essex.
Okay.
Or someone said Roman Fury, or Roman Fury apparently was a name that was mentioned as well. The thing I'll say is, living up to being KSI's brother is super difficult.
Yeah.
Because KSI is who KSI is. I will say this on camera. He's the hardest working person I think I've ever seen. Because a lot of people don't realize what this guy does outside of just these Sidemen videos and stuff. He's doing a lot of work. But if you look at Deji, let me know what you think about his shape. Because he's a bit chunky nowadays. He tried to get the 6-pack, but then he put Deji. He put on a bit of weight again.
I did have a quick look at his Instagram, and yeah, he's got a 4-pack. I mean,
nothing on you.
Listen, when you've got your 4-pack, let's tell us how hard it is to get that.
Oh no, I've got that. Wait, what do you think? I don't have that type of 4-pack. But what do you think just overall? Because I know you've talked about that Saudi cards and stuff in terms of atmosphere. What type of atmosphere do you expect here?
Like I said, from the vibe I'm already getting here from around Qatar Cultural Village, what I can say is fun. Yeah, fun. I mean, yes, Qatar is still quite a conservative society, but it does not. The vibe ain't the same as in Riyadh. Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting security in my face, and and all of that good stuff that you get in Riyadh. So yeah, all I can say is fun. And again, I think that the mainstream boxing industry has so much to learn from these guys. There's a reason these guys, who are essentially novices, are earning something like 10 times what serious pros are earning. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these guys are earning more than some world champions out there. So there is a lot to be learned. The youngsters love it. So, well, like I said, we need to stop being so snobby in the pro industry.
I don't know who's this we, because I'm not. I'm going to tell you this. I can only speak of experience from the events that I've been to. Come fight day tomorrow, I believe it's 5 p.m. your time. No, 7 p.m. I'm not sure what time it is kicking off over there. Just watch out for the queues, because in traditional boxing we tend to normally see it takes a bit of time to fill up. I'm fully expecting, if it's anything like the UK guys, and I think that will probably put a surprise to you as well, you will see lines growing before kickoff. Before anything starts, you will see lines outside the stadium of fans just really wanting to get in and embrace the card from the start right to the end and continue that same energy all the way through. And I think if you think there's one thing we should definitely learn, it's that the fact that you support from the start right to the end. Don't go grab beers beforehand. Don't go for a drink and food. Go in right from the start of the card, right to the end, and then enjoy yourself. And I think that's what you're going to hopefully see in Qatar. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know about that as well.
What's the reason for that? Is that because even the fighters at the start of the card are still quite famous and still have a really big support base?
Do you know what? It's a twofold thing. That is one. I think everyone has a following wherever they are, so I guess you have that. But two, everyone just loves being a part of it, because what you get is, I want to say, interaction. Whereas I would say in traditional boxing events, you may not necessarily get interactions with promoters. So you'll get mams walking around the arena from time to time. They'll be there taking pictures, speaking to fans and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that you won't get that at the traditional events, but it's rare. It's very rare you're going to see Frank Warren go and speak to some people, just your regular fans. He's going to take his seat ringside. Eddie Hearn, similar. You're going to get that. You'll get interactions from other boxers that will be there as well. And then, like you said, it's just the following. I think what helps these guys is they've cultivated some form of a following. In some cases, it's actually come directly from Misfits. Pineda's a big example of that. He came in as a one-off guy, and he's got a cult following. He's genuinely got a cult following where people are tuning in to watch this guy wherever he is on the card, and you'll see the reaction when he comes out. His entrance is going to be elaborate. It's going to be over the top, and that's the best bit about it. It's over the top, but we're slowly getting into that space where Mamza said it. I don't want it to be looked at too much of a joke. Yes, we can have a bit of chaos, but I'm going to show you guys when you get to the top end of the card, especially, there's technicality behind these guys. There's a genuine skill set. There's a genuine work ethic behind some of these guys. And we're also transitioning to make certain guys stars. So it is a combination. But I think what you'll see is people want to interact with each other. The fans want to interact with the boxers, the fighters, the content creators, the promoters will want to do it. Don't get me wrong. I understand KSI has to have security. That's fine. Like, there's nothing against that because he can't walk around without it. What you will see is there'll be a moment, if he's not on commentary, which I think he's started to do a lot more, where he will walk around with the security. He'll take pictures with people, sign things, and you get that interaction that you probably don't get at traditional boxing events.
Oh, no. As I said, it just ties in exactly with what I said about how pro boxing has so much to learn. I mean, these pro boxers, they can't complain about your Jake Pauls and your KSIs earning way much, more money than them, when at the press conference, they sit there and give one-word answers. Yeah. Or at the press conference, they do their 5 minutes answering questions and then they just disappear. You don't hear from them again. I mean, there's a reason Artur Beterbiev is calling out Jake Paul when he's the undisputed light heavyweight champ. Why are you doing that? It's because at your press conferences, you give one-word answers. The average person on the street has never heard of you. Yeah. And then you're resenting guys that have actually put the work in. And I tell you what, people say that, well, look, people who are fighters aren't necessarily talkers. Well, these YouTubers, a lot of them are nerds. They're not necessarily.
Whoa. We're not nerds.
And I'll say
content creators
with love. Hey, I'm a mathematician. I'm a nerd as well. But nerds aren't necessarily very sociable people naturally. But they put in the work to market themselves. However, they've done that. And here they are. And, like I said, those, and like you said, the interaction, you don't get that. It's all very well superstars keeping their distance from the fans. But when the average person has never heard of you, and like I said, most pro boxing, the guys are losing money, never mind just earning a little bit. Most of them are losing money. So, I will certainly, if I can get hold of Colossal, I want to ask him about whether this is actually a new tier to boxing and a new route into pro boxing. Because, you look at a sport like football, you got like semi-pro, you got the Boxall Conference, and sometimes the best players from that do get snapped up by the pro game. Not so much anymore, but back in the day, I remember it weren't uncommon. Someone like Ian Wright would come from non-league football and then go all the way to the top. Why shouldn't some of these kids, as me and you were saying in our group chat, people criticise KSI and Jake Paul, but you could argue their first dozen fights are harder than some prospects fights. Some prospects who were maybe top amateurs, their first dozen fights are guys who were there to just fall over. But these guys, they're fighting guys who are actually going to try and hit them back, if nothing else. So why shouldn't they transition one day into the pro game and bring all the benefits with it?
You know what's crazy? I would agree with you on this. This is probably a avenue for fighters to get into. You look at what's his name, Sammy Ami.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it. He's literally committed directly to Misfits boxing. He could have easily done the traditional round like his brother, but they've realized, okay, we have enough here where there's a following, and we can probably grow his following more on Misfits than we do on traditional boxing scenes. Tommy Fury fighting in January. I'm a professional boxer. I'm done with Misfits after Prime Card. Comes back, finds the avenue after his injury when he could have done a fight on an undercard that nobody would care about. So to your point, this is the avenue. If I was honestly a boxer getting into the scene, I would probably look at this rather than going the traditional route myself.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be said for that when Dubois and Beterbiev are calling out the YouTuber. All right, Abbas, I believe they are about to start. So I think I'm going to have to leave you and love you.
That sounds loud already. Is there a crowd out there right now?
No, they're still coming in. I think we've got a 4 o'clock start. So
okay.
All right, Abbas.
Listen, Rob, enjoy yourself.
Pleasure. I will do.
I'm glad that this has changed your view about everything.
Like I said, I feel 20 years younger already.
We'll see you in January in Manchester. Then that's it. You're locked in.
You will do, but before that, tomorrow night we'll do a live reaction to the fight.
Cool. No, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Take care, man.
We'll see you soon. Tune in.
Well, there you go, guys. That was Raw, live and direct from Misfits. Just go over a few little things of what I personally expect to see going into tomorrow. Like you said, the main event itself, Gib versus Slim, it's one that's been brewing for the best part of 4 to 5 years. A lot of people know the history, the fact that Slim says that he got Gib his fight with Jake Paul, who obviously Gib ended up losing in the first round. And since then, there's been like this collision course that we have never got, or we were always on track for to get a fight, but we never got. And we're here right now, and these guys are making history. 8 3-minute rounds. One of the big things I'm going to look at for this is the cardio side of things. Gib hasn't fought in a very long time. You've got Slim, who last fought in the prime card against Salt Papi, who probably, when he got that win, put himself on that market to be that elite guy in that particular division. So you got a lot of storyline, and then factor in KSI as well. KSI actively cheering on for Slim just adds that extra little bit of fuel to the fire. So yeah, super interested with the main event, as with the co-main event as well. Salt Papi, King Kenny, both fighters I think are technically very solid. Both again have similar trajectories in terms of what's happened in their Misfits career. You've got King Kenny, who's had some ups and downs as well. Salt Papi having back-to-back losses with Anthony Taylor, and Slim followed it up just this year with a victory as well. So again, super technical fight. I do kind of lean towards Salt Papi because I think he's got a bit more of that power, and if he's able to land the left, I think that's what could hurt King Kenny. But King Kenny has the reach advantage in this particular fight, and he has probably the better jab. So that's something super interesting. You got HS Tiki Toki. Some people don't like him. Some people like him. Super polarizing. Perfect for this scene. Had his first fight in Ireland. The matchmaking was what it is for any sort of person who comes into a boxing scene for the first event. It was a gimme fight. He took advantage of that, got the win. So again, we kind of expect to see something similar there. You can see Mams putting the eggs in his basket in the sense of wanted to make him one of the big heavyweight stars. Throughout the rest of the card, as I said, you got Deji back on the card. Not the most impressed with Deji. I'm not going to criticize him too much because not everybody can be super serious about everything. And I think he's on that path where, unfortunately, he may not necessarily be too serious about boxing, but his name is so big that the moment you put him on a card, it's going to gauge a lot of interest and attraction. So therefore, on the biggest card of the year, you want to put him on, and that's what they've done. Following on, as I said, Lil Cray Cray, Yuri Gang. For me, that's probably going to be the most technical fight of the night that we're going to see. I do lean towards Lil Cray Cray, even though he did lose the second time round. But what I saw with his fight against Joey Knight, I was super impressed with it. So I'm going to lean towards him. Again, I reckon that goes all the distance. I don't think we see a knockout. But I do think we will see, for me, that's the most technical fight of the night. And then I think the people's fight, Swans versus Pineda. That's the one that, if you look at professional boxing, is what they do wrong. You have a fight that could easily fit on the main bill. But what you do is you give fans value for money. You give them a reason to want to get in and cheer for two guys who have what I would call, again, the cult following in the influencer boxer scene. And I would lean towards Pineda. But overall, Mams, KSI, the whole team at Misfits, they've done a super job again. Everyone can say, oh, it's easy to run a promotion when you got the backing of DAZN. But the truth is, unless you actually do it, we see a lot of these companies start up, not able to actually continue on. What these guys have been able to do is actually very, very special. And straight after this, they get bigger, the better. They go to the Co-op Arena in Manchester, and they have Tommy Fury versus Darren Till. Again, pay-per-view. And guess what? The pay-per-views are going to do big numbers, just like they're going to do big numbers here as well. So yeah, from myself, this, considering where it was or what it used to be known, and we've just had Raw on the show, he's impressed. And if Raw's impressed, everyone should be impressed. But guys, we're going to quickly wrap up today's episode. As you saw from Raw, he's live and direct in Qatar. It's a vibe, it's sunny, it's warm, and it's just fun. And I think that's what you got to appreciate if you do tune in tomorrow. It's on pay-per-view on DAZN. Some people will complain. I'll be honest with you. I think based off this particular card, there's value for pay-per-view if you want to start and get yourself into this particular scene. Later on tonight, we've got the midweek wrap up with obviously yours truly, Trey and Chris. And then throughout the week, we're going to have the great content as always. And hopefully tomorrow night, do a little recap of what we saw from Misfits. But we're going to leave off with a quick little message from our sponsor. But guys, until next time, love and peace.
And cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one blaze. Someone flips me a back by the it's another one, yeah. It's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.